Hello, I'm Rob Phillips, and welcome to my channel. You know, everyone says they want to have better skills of focus. They want to be able to concentrate. They want to be able to kind of stay on task with whatever it is they're doing. But I feel like most people forget that focus is a skill that we cultivate, and it happens through repetition again and again. And mindfulness practices and Yin Yoga practices are one of the greatest places for us to develop that skill because we can do it on such a So for today's sequence, we're going to be exploring this idea of reconnecting, bringing our attention back to the body and the breath, really grounding the attention in our experience as a way to cultivate this skill of focus, the skill of concentration that we so often wish we had. In terms of props for today, as usual, I'm going to recommend you have a blanket, that you have a couple of blocks as well. And once you've gathered all your props here, you can find your way into a comfortable seat. Finally, as always, if you enjoy these videos, please be sure to give a like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. And if you want to go deeper into the concepts of meditation and Yin Yoga, check out my free course, The Embodied Mindfulness Method. There'll be a link down below. Otherwise, though, hopefully by now you're in your seat. Let's start to get grounded. Let's start to get comfortable here. Cross-legged, kneeling, whatever works. Hands can rest on the knees or they could rest on your lap. Take a moment to elevate the spine, but then to soften the shoulders and to close your eyes. Start to feel a sense of being here. Start to feel that sense of connecting here. As much as we think of this idea of focus as being this kind of continuous thing that just happens, really focus is nothing more than a running string of individual moments that we have come back to. So can you bring your attention to the sensations that you feel in the body? Can you find that direct, tangible connection here? Can you bring equal attention to the movements of your breath? Can you feel the natural rise and fall here? And the mind will wander at times. We may feel distracted. We may feel restless. That's not a problem. That is the nature of our mind, of course. But we can make a practice of gently bringing the attention back to the present, back to this experience. Tuning into what's tangible as a way to kind of gather the attention. So let's feel that here for a few more moments, take a few more cycles of breath, and give yourself permission to keep coming back. Keep reconnecting as many times as is needed here. Let's take a gentle inhale breath through the nose. Take a gentle exhale breath out our mouth. And slowly lower our chin down to open our eyes. And from here, we'll be remaining in seated, but you can extend your legs out nice and long. Let them relax, let them shake out for a few moments. And we're going to begin our main sequence here in butterfly pose, which is a pose I start a lot of my classes with. It's kind of a good starter shape. But for today, we're going to bias the pose so that the feet are a little closer in. Now, this can be hugely variable from person to person, so I want you to listen to how this feels in your body, right? But take the feet a little closer so you feel some release on the inner thighs, but no strong sensations, really no sensations in the knees. If you'd like, you can slide blocks under the knees for a bit of support. Otherwise, of course, you could use blocks here under the hands. So find your initial alignment here, find your setup, so that now as you're ready, you can inhale and invite some length. You can exhale to release forwards and to find your edge. Just a friendly reminder in case we are newer to Yin Yoga, or maybe you've never practiced with me, that Coming into a pose is all about finding the right edge for your body. You want to come just deep enough that you can truly feel the pose, that you can notice, you can tell that those effects are happening for sure. But what we're not doing here is pushing into intensity. We're not striving to get deeper. In fact, in general, it's better to practice in a slightly more gentle way here. Because trust, just by being in these poses, just by relaxing and letting the body respond, we can do this deep and powerful work without needing to use strong forces to make it happen. And so, as you settle into this, let the body relax, let yourself come into this relative stillness, and again, invite the attention to observe what is showing up here. Can you feel the breath? Can you feel the body? What's it like to be here with that? And again, remember this idea that focus or attention isn't a switch we flip. It's an ongoing process of bringing ourselves back. When the mind wanders, which it will, we can let that tendency go and come back to the tangible. If we feel restless, if we feel sleepy even, come back to the tangible. The more we can truly be with whatever is just here, the more the attention will be able to focus and more deeply experience this moment, just as it is. Let's take one more complete breath like we are. Slowly begin to come up and out of your fold, and you might take a little roll of the shoulders, and let's extend our legs, let them roll, let them kind of release out too as well. We're going to take a bit of a pause. We're going to come onto our belly, but we can kind of set up for where we'll be going next at the same time. So maybe you set up your blanket like in the middle of your mat, so you got a bit of padding, got a bit of cushion. Find your way forwards all the way onto the floor and just relax and truly feel the reset. Truly feel your remount here. Take a few nice deep breaths to connect with that, to experience that here. And again, just gently invite the attention back to this tangible experience. Focusing on what's here while letting go of all the various other things that might be pulling your attention away. And we can take a gentle inhale breath through our nose and a big exhale breath out our mouth. From here, we'll slowly start to press ourselves up and find our way onto our hands and onto our knees. And what we're going to be setting up for is a pose called outriggers pose. So for outriggers pose, you'll take your left leg out and to the side here. So Just keep in mind, you can decide whether you want to keep that foot flat or whether you'd prefer to rest more on the edge. That's just like a personal preference thing, but something like this, and you're going to shift the body in space to kind of find your basic alignment. Now, for most of my students, you'll end up down on your elbows. You can use blocks to support yourself and add more height there if you'd like that. But the main target line is that inside edge of the leg, so kind of move until you feel that. And just appreciate, of course, if you're resting on your arms here, that yes, you'll need to work a little bit to support yourself. This isn't a completely relaxed pose. But at the same time, you'll want to be intentional that you're not clenching in the shoulders. You might need to micro-adjust periodically to help yourself maintain that. And can you begin to gather the attention back in the physical, back in what is tangible? So in our Yin Yoga practice, one of the most powerful things is by feeling the pose, by tuning in to the sensations, we have an extremely powerful anchor. The pose gives us something very obvious to tune into. And so while seated meditation is important too, in our Yin Yoga setting, we can explore all the factors that we would in a seated meditation, but with the added benefit of the physical poses giving us more to connect with. And just so you know, I explore this deeply in my free course. So if you're curious about that, check it out in the link down below the video. And ultimately, again, this moment and this experience is where focused attention can happen. So let that be your emphasis here. Take a final complete breath like you are here. Slowly begin to rise up. Take the left leg back. You might want to move it, circulate it, do what feels good to kind of work that out for yourself. Let's take a pause, and since we did it before, let's again come onto our belly. You can just kind of lean forwards, rest here, pause here. And take a few deep breaths to feel the reset, and almost certainly you'll notice a dramatic difference between the two sides, so be aware of that here. Be conscious of how the whole system is equalizing after that stronger pose we just wrapped up. And from here, we'll start to make our way up to set up for our second side. So you can press up onto your hands and knees, setting up in tabletop. And this time, of course, now the right foot will come out, and we'll be a little off camera with that, but we know what we did, right? It's the same thing as the first side. So again, you can align with that foot flat, or if you'd prefer, you could rest on the edge. Find the setup that makes sense for you. But then from there, shift the body in space as you would like to. Find the edge that seems like it makes sense for you. Just as with the first side, just as we know by now, right? We need to use some effort for this pose. Being certain that no tension has cropped up in the shoulders, the upper back. You may need to periodically micro-adjust to kind of balance that, to make that the case. But now from here, can you tune into and feel this direct experience? This moment in time is where we can gather our attention. It gives us the focus, it gives us the direction. So that we can truly be here. Again, the mind wanders. The attention drifts. This is what the mind does. All of us, even experienced meditators. The difference is those that practice mindfulness are comfortable with starting again, with bringing the focus back as many times as we need to. But from here, for now, we are done with our time on the side, so you can slowly begin to raise up. You can take the right leg back, let it move, let it sway, whatever feels good for you here. And again, let's find our way onto our belly. It's a nice reset pose after what we've done. You can feel the right leg release, feel that rebound and reset. And we can take some nice deep breaths to experience that, to really tune into this here. What does it feel like to be here? What are you experiencing in this moment? It's such a simple question, but over time we start to realize just how powerful of a question it can be. So let's take a gentle inhale breath through our nose. Open up the mouth to exhale and let it out. Use your hands, gently press back, find your child's pose to reset. And then from here, slowly find your way upright again into a seat. And I'm going to recommend that you take the seat up on your blanket, give yourself a cushion. We're going to come into dragonfly pose, which is our wide-legged straddle pose. So you can grab blocks here. You might need extra props under the legs, depending, but the idea is you'll end up something like this. And I know, especially if you're newer to practice or if you're just tighter in the body, just getting here can be a lot, right? So I just want to remind you that there's nothing that says you need to go further than just trying to be here. If you can just sit nice and tall, if you can be in the shape, that is going to do enough work for you as long as you can feel the pose in your body. Having said that, of course, once you're relatively comfortable here, we can start to explore leaning forwards, and the more that you lean forwards, the more you'll, of course, feel the pose. You can dial it up or down as you need to. So dial this in and find your alignment, find your edge here. Relax through any tightness or tension in the neck or the shoulders. Remember, there's no prize for going deeper. It's all about listening to and working with what you feel in your body. But remember, like I was just saying a minute ago, that focused attention is not a switch that we flip. It's an ongoing process of coming back. So keep bringing the attention back to the body. Keep bringing the attention back to your breath. Over time, that skill will become even more natural. It can become almost subconscious even. And that is true, deep, focused attention. Especially through the pauses, especially through the gaps. Can you maintain your connection? Can you keep coming back here? That is what we're practicing. That is the skill that we are truly developing here. Take one more complete breath like you are, and slowly begin to rise up. And as you rise up, take a moment, relax the shoulders and the back. Take a moment to release and to reset. And from here, gently, when you're ready, gather the legs in and shift to lie down all the way flat on your back. So find your nice pause there. So on your back, we'll take a pause here for a few moments, landing and arriving. And of course, feel where you're at right now. We're most of the way through the sequence for today. What have you let go of? What have you released here along the way? Excuse me. And so from here now, we're going to find our way into a twist. So you can walk the legs in. You'll have your knees bent. And we'll cross the left leg on top of the right. And with the legs crossed here, take a gentle inhale in the midline. And as you exhale, roll the legs across to the right to find your twist. And you can open and place the left shoulder out onto the floor and adapt this, of course, as you need to, so it feels reasonable for your body. And in the pose, let yourself relax. Let the body truly receive the shape. I'm going to be generally quiet here, but can you keep bringing the attention back to your tangible experience? Can you keep noticing all that you feel here? Slowly building this skill of focus. Take a final complete breath right here. And slowly begin to draw the legs in and uncross, reset. Move a bit if you'd like, sway here and there, but basically resting in neutral, pausing here for a few moments. Again, feel the reset, feel the rebound, here like you are. As you're ready to, of course, we'll do the second side. So you can cross your right leg on top of the left. Take a gentle inhale breath here. And slowly, as you exhale, release the legs over across the body to the left side and open your right shoulder, that right arm out onto the floor. Let it relax and feel this nice unraveling, feel this nice release through the whole right half of the pose. Let the direct physical experience keep you grounded, keep you present. Keep coming back to it. Keep tuning into it again and again here. Take a final complete breath like you are here, and when you're ready to, from here, slowly begin to draw the legs back in. Release the cross of your legs and maybe come into a little sway or a shift. Just kind of balance things here out for yourself. From here, we'll set up for a final neutral pose, Shavasana. So do extend the legs out onto the floor. Open a little bit through the feet, have the arms out, have the palms facing up, and close your eyes. And just remember, this final Shavasana is a crucial part of our practice. We want to give ourselves a little time to rebalance after all the deep work we've explored. So letting the body be here, letting the mind be here, and we don't even need to keep bringing it back. Just kind of notice what you've settled into organically in this moment. Let's take a gentle inhale breath through our nose. Open up your mouth and exhale and let go completely here for these final few minutes. So on your back as you are, just take a final few moments to connect and do notice what is settled. Do notice what has rebalanced there. And feel as the breath deepens, energy starts to move, energy starts to flow again. Use that energy to help you roll onto your side and gently press your way up into a comfortable seat with your eyes closed, and just pause for a final moment here and tune in. Remembering this idea of focus is something we can start again in any given moment. Let's join our hands in front of the heart. So again, and as always, my thanks to each of you for sharing your practice. And may our practice bring benefit to all beings. We bow. So again, thank you so very much for practicing with me. And of course, if you enjoy the practice, give the video a like. And if you are not already, consider subscribing to my channel. Any thoughts or questions, do let me know in the comments down below. And yet again, if you want to go deeper into these practices of mindfulness, Yin Yoga, and how they integrate into your lifestyle, please check out my free course, The Embodied Mindfulness Method, down below.